The Truth About Dwarves and Dragons by Bernadette Grove. Forward. This story is extremely important to me. It came to me in a time of need. I asked the universe to tell me a story, calm my spirit, to offer me friendship and peace of mind. And I got this. It was put in my heart to share it freely because freely is how it was given to me in the face of dire straits. I hope it speaks to your heart and spirit as it did to mine. I will be releasing it chapter by chapter and video by video as I finish them. Whatever you do, wherever you go, just know you have nothing to fear and you're never alone. Chapter 1. The night was still. All was silent but the hoot of a great horned owl, while the moon did her best to illuminate the path beneath the thick forest canopy, racing endlessly in both directions. The distant call of wolves haunted the midnight air, each call from the wild a salute to the watchful moon. But she didn't seem to notice the praise over her current pursuit. Beneath the thick enchanted treetops, an unprecedented reunion was about to take place. The moon blew an impatient breeze across the sweeping towers, spilling milky rays through their thick leaves to touch the forest floor beneath. The rebellious canopy rolled in waves as far as the eye could see. Her silver fingertips laced over the way, beckoning the tattered traveler toward his final destination. The brave hunter had finally returned. His home rested just beyond the edge of the ancient woodland. He could almost taste the smoke on the breeze bearing down around him. The smell offered a burst of speed to his gait and joy to his heart. It must be the eternal flame, he thought, which meant his village was still safe, still protected from the horrors he'd witnessed. Relief flooded through the burdened explorer. Since his violent descent from the mountaintop, the brilliant Mother of the Night had spent every waking moment watching his every step. She'd lovingly lit his way over the cliffs and foreign valleys he'd left behind him. Never before had one vessel of the human race held such promise as the lone hunter. The message he bore had kept his bruised, tortured feet moving endlessly, one after the other. The brilliant moon was one of only few other beings in existence to know the full weight of the tasks that lie ahead of the brave traveler. A gust howled through the leaves, separating them enough to illuminate the narrow path Darius Good Hunter flew over. I know this path, he huffed and puffed over the thought, looking to either side of the path for confirmation. The massive trunks seemed to be thinning out. The thick underbrush dispatched further and further apart as the forest opened up around him. Darius picked up speed as the small road widened, revealing a fork that spit out at the edge of the river the villagers washed in. He was nearly home. He choked back joyful tears and released a hoarse, triumphant cry. Darius stopped in his tracks at the edge of the tree line to take it all in and catch his breath. He took in the peaceful grassland of the valley opening up in front of him. The tall grass swayed, casting waves to ripple sleepily over the expanse. The cattails at the base of the hill rocked back and forth. His eyes followed the path leading to the village he dreamt of nightly. He closed his eyes for only a moment. to take in the humming of the wind as it beckoned him forward to the finish line he'd imagined more times than he could count. The weary hunter crumbled into a heap, weeping bitterly in the face of his dream coming true, as each of the faces of the brave followers he'd led to their death passed through his mind. His tearful eyes again gazed upward, taking in the infinity fire, offering as a welcome to anyone who might seek refuge along their journey. How would he be able to face the deceased hunters' families? How could he ever pass his deep regret for their loss? How could he explain his returning alone? A single small figure entered into his mind. Large, loving hazel eyes stared out from behind his own, fortifying his intention of return. The brave warrior rose to his feet and dusted his scabbed knees. He watched as two silhouettes moved between himself and the flame licking skyward. Darius wiped his eyes. That was new. He squinted toward the scene. Each shadowed figure was carrying what appeared to be one of the hunting spears the party had left behind. A frown consumed his features. They'd left the village, a peaceful sanctuary. Never before had they posted guardians. This was new indeed. He set his emaciated face and walked brazenly into the quiet valley. He ran a hand through the soothing grass as he went. The weariness he'd had no time to feel along the way washed over him, penetrating deep into his tired bones. I could sleep at the edge of the forest and return at first light. Maybe it would be better to return refreshed. The thought tickled his fancy, but only for a moment. No, the time is now. The village needs me, and I must tell them what I've found. He'd waited long enough to see his boy. Not another moment would pass between them without wrapping the child in his arms. To be continued.